We are talking about Lent. We're done. The carnival's over. Don't even bring up those party words. Hello and welcome back to the Croak and Crow podcast. I am Spencer Cartier.
And I am fresh as a daisy.
And this is Frank. He's not done partying, is he?
He's reluctant.
But he's dressed up as a Christian meme king. If you haven't seen it already, check out Sunday's episode of Christian Meme Review, starring me.
That's right.
That's right. And today, guys, it's not a normal day. It's a special. You know, we have a lot of podcasts on normal days, but today is special for one reason, and that is Ash Wednesday. Wednesday.
Frank is the Carnival King as well as the Christian Meme King. He partied well into this morning.
Yeah, his sunglasses are on for a reason. The lights are a bit bright for him tonight.
He was that last lap, which comes after Carnival marching in Trinidad, and he just won't stop. We're praying for Frank.
He'll come around.
I would love to finish this and waste it, this Coke, but can't.
It's out. It's out. You won't see me drinking soda anymore. Lent has begun just as Ash Wednesday has begun.
Yeah.
And that means we gave some things up.
Yeah.
I didn't really give anything up specific. I just sort of I'm giving up a lot of things, but also nothing because I've been dieting long enough.
Right.
And doing things to keep my body a temple that I don't really need to be. I sort of know what needs to be given up and what needs to be substituted.
Right.
And so I'm in my mind, I'm like, I know what I'm doing for the next 40 days. For you, is it the same, or are you more? You've got a clear line. I'm choosing this.
I don't have a clear line because I don't have anything. I'm so perfect. You know what I mean? All the different years, I have given up the different things. I've given up road rage one year, and I never went back to it. I never went back to it. I've given up, just different things. So that's why it's so very hard for me.
Maybe by the end of the podcast, we can figure something out.
I can't give up social media because
you are our Crow ambassador.
We are social media.
Yeah.
And so it's. Maybe I could think of something to actually do for 40 days.
That's an option.
That I'm not doing.
Yeah. Wait, but hold on. These people, they're saying, Spencer. Wait, what was your name today?
Daisy.
Spencer, Daisy. You're giving things up? I'm confused. You have ashes on your forehead?
Yeah.
What is all this?
Okay.
I do my prayers. I read the Bible, but now you're saying you're bringing a whole new equation into the mix.
Right.
So why don't we give a little background?
Okay.
Of what's Ash Wednesday? What's Lent?
Okay.
The people, they want to know.
Okay.
Do you want me to tell them?
Sure.
So, Ash Wednesday is a Christian holiday where ashes are.
It's not so much a holiday as a what is that called?
It's a remembrance day.
Yeah, like a religious holiday, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like. It's kind of like
a day of.
It's kind of Good Friday. It's not that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll call it what you want.
Okay.
And so the patrons who partake will go to church and they'll get ashes on their forehead in the shape of a cross. I'm not actually sure if they're doing it, like if priests are doing it this year.
Yeah. So now we'll just take a little aside. You go to church normally. Mm-hmm. They have ashes that are made from.
No, don't tell me. They are made from palms.
The palms
from Palm Sunday.
From the previous year's Palm Sunday. They're burned, they're blessed, and they're used with some spiritual words.
From ash to ash, we're all Christians.
This year, I heard that churches weren't, because of COVID, were not going to stick their hand in, the priest wasn't going to put his hand in a pot of anything and put it on each person. It's not.
I'm sure there were some speakeasy churches that.
Maybe.
If you're in the know.
I heard you were going to get sprinkled. I made my own with some pine needles, and I did this to myself, which we talked about before. You can make your own holy water. You can make your own holy oil. So I said, why can't you make your own holy ashes?
And you can, and I'm going to tell you why.
That's what I did.
Because one thing that I learned So we're going to get to Lent, but Ash Wednesday and Lent, not biblical. Okay? Ashes, there is biblical representation of ashes representing repentance in the Old Testament, and that's why they're brought back.
Okay.
From ash to ash, from dust to dust. And so that came with the Romans in Christianity. It wasn't Jesus saying, put ashes on your forehead. No. So it's good to know that. So can you do it yourself? Yes, it's a remembrance. But was I going to say anything about Ash Wednesday?
Yeah, because it's also a being proud of being a Christian.
Yes.
Because if you got them in your day, and then you walked around, it's like, oh, hello.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Because you said now they're sprinkling. Before Lent, or like the what we know of you go to church and you get it on your forehead, sprinkling ashes on someone was
really
the representation of repentance.
Really?
So are we going back to the old days? Maybe we just might be.
Right.
So now let's talk about Lent.
So yeah, because I stopped you.
I think there's Christians who celebrate Ash Wednesday, but I think Lent, other churches might do it, but I think it was created in the year 325 AD by that council, an important council, and it was a Catholic thing, where the 40 days from Ash Wednesday to Easter Sunday, 40 or something days, is a period of inward looking, of repentance, of all this jazz. So now current Catholics, it's sort of molded rather than like this deep repentance and stuff is like more of a thing that you can have your kids do. When I was a kid, I'd give up Coke or soda in general. You don't drink soda, and then it's just sort of a reminder. It's like both usually you're not picking things to really you wouldn't want to do normally. Like it's not like I'm not going to wear shoes just to hurt myself. It's like it's sort of a benefit for both. Like
it's a real an awareness. A constant awareness. And also Fridays in Lent.
No meat.
Is traditionally no meat. And it's like Fish Fridays.
Fish Fridays.
Of course, it's just like Ramadan, how they have fasting during Ramadan.
Yeah.
And I believe like old people or ill people, actually even, I believe menstruating women for Ramadan don't have to fast. But for Lent, little children, I think, old people, sick people, they don't have to abstain.
Yes.
Actually, today is no meat as well.
Yeah.
Ash Wednesday. But anything else about Lent?
Nothing. I like it. I'm a huge fan of Lent. I'm a huge fan of giving things up. But I'm a huge advocate to remember, because I think it's as important to remember that it was created by people.
Okay.
It was created by. It's not biblical. It's not. You'll be cast out of heaven before not partaken in Lent. But that I like it more because of that. But I think it's important to remember that it's a personal choice, a personal. I'm gonna do a little bit extra. I'm gonna do a little bit more, just to sort of have a personal. I'm not trying to prove anything to my priest, my preacher. I'm trying to prove something to myself.
And of all the times we talked about symbolism, like what is it? It's all symbolism, like,
it's all symbolism. We live in a life of symbolism.
Right. So it's always about your soul, your heart. It's never about the wedding ring. It's never about the ashes on the head. It's never about, these particular, it has to be a baptismal candle as opposed to a wedding candle. It's all symbolism. Speaking of symbolism, Friday, we celebrated, we gave a little celebration for Black History Month.
Yes.
But it was also Lunar New Year, which we forgot. So I brought you a present.
Oh, man. It's an orange.
It's a tangerine. We didn't have oranges. I wish we did. Because there's a lot of symbols for Lunar New Year. One of them is oranges and tangerines. Have you ever seen, like, they make little, like, sort of shrines?
When you say it sounds familiar, but...
Yeah, there was even a Thai restaurant over by us. They used to keep a bowl outside, like on the ground. But anyway, found...
Just asking for bugs.
Are these tangerines or are these clementines?
I don't eat fruits.
Okay. If they were tangerines,
I eat some
they
fruits.
Symbolize wealth. And the orange symbolizes...
my pocket.
The orange symbolizes good luck.
Wait. If there, what
Tangerine.
Oh, so we don't know what we're getting with this.
I thought this was a tangerine, but now the more I look at it, I'm like, is this a
clementine?
Is this one of those little cuties or whatever?
Oh,
I don't know, but
the cuties, they represent death.
No. So happy Lunar New Year.
Happy Lunar New Year. We've moved in from my year, the year of the rat, to the year of the pig.
Ox.
Because
I said it's you because you're a bull, and you were like, no.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
I can't keep up.
I used to. I mean, I don't think they're on Instagram anymore, but I used to have an Instagram friend who was Chinese, and he told me how their calendar is different, so his age is different than, like, say he was 35 in what we know in the year, 2019,
the year of our Lord.
Yeah, and he's like, actually, my calendar is different, and I was like, that's crazy.
Wait, where? So he's Chinese
China.
From China?
Yeah, he was.
And they go by the calendar?
I guess, because he said, like, the government actually gives you birthday presents and stuff. I don't know.
Huh. That's interesting. I thought it was just more of like a...
No, I guess like the Hebrew calendar.
Yeah.
The Chinese calendar.
But we're not talking about the Lunar New Year because we missed it.
We did miss it.
This is a nice crown.
We missed it. We missed Carnival.
We are talking about Lent. We're done. The Carnival's over. Don't even bring up those party words around
Frank
here.
doesn't want to hear that.
Sorry, Frank. I had to remove your party crown. We're talking about Lent, okay? That's all we're
okay.
And because I like it. I want to talk.
We're talking about Lent. And Lent, we keep saying 40 days, 40 days, 40 days. What happens after 40 days?
Easter.
Okay, so you were the one saying that we're talking to people who don't know what's going on.
So you gotta say what Easter is?
Yeah.
Easter is the celebration of Jesus rising from the dead.
Yes.
After 3 days after being crucified.
Right.
And it's a celebration. It's all a celebration.
Yeah.
So after 40 days of repentance and saying, I am not worthy, it is a celebration of this great sacrifice. And you get an Easter basket filled with chocolates, and you can drink all the Coca-Colas in the world.
Yeah, you get to break the fast, yeah. But it's like, for the 40 days, you would think that because you're sacrificing and because you're, I think even the decorations on the altar of the church is subdued. I believe their vestments might be like purple or something. It's like, there's no, we should do a vestment podcast one day. The robes that the priests wear, the colors all mean something, and the stoles.
Yeah.
So everything is really dialed down for Lent. It's very, pious.
Yeah.
So you would think that whole time we were thinking about Jesus's worst time, but you're really not. Like, I just know, like, isn't Holy Thursday when he comes in to? That's Palm Sunday. Oh, that's the Sunday before Easter is Palm Sunday. And that's when you're at the part of the Bible where Jesus is received. He's a full grown adult. Yeah. He's received with, accolades. They're all waving the palms at him. They're so happy. Holy Thursday comes around. Good Friday, he's being crucified. Yeah. So it's like we do 40 days, but then it's just that Easter week is like.
Well, I mean, can you have 40 days of really doing anything? Like
yeah.
But let's talk about Lent. I think everyone should partake in it. Okay? You too. I mean, I'm not going to let you get away from the fact that you haven't picked anything yet. But I'm here as an advocate for Lent. So I think everyone watching this should give something up or do something for the next 40 days. And I'm going to tell you the benefits of it. So what's so great about Lent or giving something up voluntarily is you are doing something for yourself that benefits you, that you just needed that little bit of, there's so many things. I really wish I could go to the gym. I really wish I could eat better. And I always equate, God as a father figure.
Yeah.
And it's just, like when not famous people, anyone who does something with marathon runners, and then it's like, this was for you, Mom. Mm-hmm. And then it's that's what gave you the little extra push. Mm-hmm. I think it's great to channel that energy and use it to prove to yourself and to actually just do something that you're super proud of in the name of God, if you will. So I've done some of my greatest achievements in Lent. I was vegan for 40 days, which I never thought I'd be able to do. That's probably like the coolest one, but I would give it, and it's always just like a positive thing. But the other thing which I like so much about it is so personal, and I think there's a lot of things that like you see in other religions or in the Bible, and you might come into question, oh, why aren't you allowed to eat that kind of meat, or why aren't you allowed to do that? And I really don't think it's as important as people make it, but I think we talked about with Judaism and like kosher foods, and it was like,
and halal.
Yeah, it's like, I'm never going to tell anyone to do that, because to them, they are actively making a decision every day.
Right.
So for the next 40 days, when I want to drink Coca-Colas and eat goldfish, I'm going to then, of course, even if it's subconsciously, remember I give it up for Lent.
Right.
I give it up, and it's just this remembrance. So I think, it's obviously you want to have it done from a good place where it's not, my mom's making me give up my Snickers bars because God told me so. It's like, it's not that at all. I think it should be very personal, but just go forward and do something that you wanted to do.
Right. Yeah, like it's always helpful when things have, in one hand, nowadays, mostly nowadays, I would say, we don't like, oh, don't put me in a box and, color outside the lines and, it doesn't have to be this way, no labels. And that there is a place for that. And there is lots of creativity and freedom and happiness that can come from that. But there's also something about having, like parameters or having sacred spaces. So like when you're in school, I remember, we would have our copybooks and we would have your English book, your math book, and especially young grades when we didn't change classes. So it was just the one teacher.
Yeah.
So she would say, put away your spelling book under the desk, bring out your reading book or whatever it was.
I'm following.
And so it could have all been one copybook, but it's like, let's change that headspace.
Yeah.
Another thing that comes to my mind is like Mr. Rogers, who we still have to do the podcast about.
Mr. Rogers.
Spencer wants to dedicate a whole podcast to Fred. But
can it be the Fred podcast and we also talk about Fred Astaire?
Sure.
And Fred Flintstone.
Fred Flintstone.
And Freddie Mercury.
Yeah. I just saw something on Instagram and it said, may your Mercury be more Freddie and less retrograde. But Mr. Rogers, he could have come into the show wearing his play sweater, but it was the demarcation of like, I'm taking off this because it's not time for this anymore. And I'm putting on my zipper sweater and changing my shoes because now it's this time. Yeah. And so like with Lent, all through the year, I mean, we just said, what's your New Year's resolution? Yeah. A month ago. But Lent is a time, like it helps you have one of those like this is our Lent copybook, What are we going to do here, which is different than other places? And like you said, having a finish line in sight does help you more than I'm never going to drink soda again.
Yeah. No, definitely. And to step out of your comfort zone more. Like I said, was it last year I was vegan or was that 2 years ago? It had been 2 years ago. Last year, I think COVID had sort of messed things up.
Yeah, I can't even remember.
But 2 years.
Oh, right. It was COVID because I remember the president saying, by Easter, this is all going to be over. Yeah. We're all going to be in church. Yeah. Yeah.
2 years ago, I went vegan. I had no intention of becoming a plant-based diet person. But it was a world that was, I was like, I don't know how I feel about it. Like, blah, blah, blah. There's the cure. I knew it would be so hard to do. And I'm so glad I learned a lot from it.
And it was a challenge.
It was a challenge. I was so happy I could have done it. And I truly think without something, like I said, it was all personal. It wasn't like if someone didn't make me, but if I didn't make that Lent choice, because it's hard forever to, like, any time of the year to decide to do something and stick to it. for me, I think I just work well with like coaches, you know, or something. Like if I'm in the gym and there's someone there telling me, I can obviously do more. So even though this is all me, just sort of having that like feeling hovering over me, it like sort of gives me like, no, I can't cheat. I got to keep going. Right. And then it's right.
A nice payoff. And you don't think like, well, if I do cheat, I'm going to hell.
No, and I think that's an important thing to like. I want to make this clear because I've met people who are Christians, but they don't celebrate Lent. You know, they're from other churches, and it might come across in words as you're putting yourself. Oh, like your church is all about, you know, like bowing your head down and saying, I'm not worthy, I'm a terrible person. I need to remember I'm a terrible person. Let me whip myself on the back.
Right.
And I think that's why it's good to remember that it wasn't in the Bible. It's all a person. It's all a your own choice. Right. Anytime you stop, it's not, how could you have done this? Like you must not love me. It has nothing to do with that. It's all personal. It's just like, it's testing yourself. Like,
right.
Can I do this? Right. And then it's the why,
right?
You know, it's why are you doing this?
Yeah,
not you have to do this.
Why do you think they chose 40 days?
I looked into it. I think it's there's a lot of speculation of how Lent started because like I said, it's not biblical, but the ashes are reminiscent to the Old Testament. But the 40 days were said to maybe represent when Jesus went into the desert for 40 days.
Oh, right. Okay.
And so he fasted for this 40 days.
Put yourself in that.
And so it's just go on that walk with him, like your own spiritual walk.
Right.
Because I think it's important. I think literally with anything, even not religious, it's so important to push yourself in life.
Yeah.
And because you don't realize how much your potential is.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. It's the most cliche thing you can say, but in reality, like especially now where we're in the 21st century and we have a lot of things that they didn't have before. You know, so you can live a pretty comparably comfortable. I'm not saying everyone's living comfortably. Comparably comfortable to days past.
Yeah.
Where your guy, Iceman.
Wim Hof.
He is the man who he likes to submerge himself in ice and says it is so beneficial. But one of the things he always says is humans now, or our bodies are designed to fluctuate. You know, cold nights, hot days, and we're supposed to handle it
right.
all.
Our own internal HVAC.
But humans now, they're in their 69, 71 degree houses. They go warm up the cars, get in the cars to their 72 degree offices, and you're not giving your body that, like, pushing it to its limits to keep it hot at
of course,
max capacity.
Of course.
And I think the same thing is with pushing yourself. You know, like
it's like internal. What is physical therapy? You know how physical therapy, like if you
they're like, please, I don't want to do it anymore. And it's like, just walk
like you need to move the leg or it's not going to work anymore. Well, you need to let your electrical system fire, and
I'm just thinking about this now, but I think that's another reason of the good thing about spirituality is realistically, I think as Christians or as any religious folk, whatever the religion, we have the belief that this world is earthly, right? Like we're enjoying our earthly lives, but this is just material. It's earth. It's not our soul. So I think it's also a nice little reminder that I'm remembering why I went vegan, because before I went vegan, I looked down on veganers. I didn't look down on them. I would say I could never do that. Okay, that's good for you, but I could not get rid of meat out of my diet. And I just didn't like the idea that I needed something. And I'm not a person to give away all my materials, but I like to know I don't need anything.
Right.
It's all added benefit. So I think living in that world, to give up anything, to say, I enjoy living with social media.
Yeah.
But I know I don't need it, and I'm going to prove to myself I don't need it. And then going forward, when I am using it, I'm using it as a benefit, not as a need.
Yeah, because sometimes we're tested and we didn't ask to be tested. So like
Yeah.
Right now, a lot of people in the country don't have electricity because of all the terrible storms.
Sorry, Southerners.
Yeah, because all the terrible storms, and they're being tested, and they are coming to the challenge, right? Like they are figuring out what to do to keep warm, or where to go, or how they can get through this. And Lent is more like, I'm going to turn the lights off. It's like you're doing it to yourself.
And that's so important. I mean, I think it's been like, 30 podcasts before we had, since our first workout podcast. I think we need a second one because I like to hammer home the correlations. But you work out so much at the gym, besides to have a defined physique.
Yeah.
You lift heavy in the gym, so things you lift outside the gym aren't heavy.
Right.
Like, if you're a boxer, what is Khabib Nurmagomedov say? He says, sparring hard, fight easy.
Okay.
And so if you train hard, the fight's easy.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same thing. Like if you live in the world of like, oh, well, I need my phone, I need Coke, and Coca-Cola, I need meat.
Yeah.
All these things. If something happens, oh no, mad cow disease round 2, all the cows go away. And then it's like, then are you pushed to the test? Or it's like, well, I know I can live without meat.
Yeah,
I know I can live
more,
without coffee.
More strength.
I know I can live without caffeine.
Right.
It's like, then when you do use it, you enjoy it. When you don't have it, you say.
And it's like a safe place to do it, a safe space, because, one of the problems with the lockdowns was no end in sight. Like you didn't know, do I need to do this for a month, for 2 months, for 6 months, And so the nice thing about Lent is I know exactly.
It's very confined.
I know exactly how long I have to do it for.
Yeah. I'm halfway there. I'm a quarter of the way there.
Yeah. And that's really helpful.
Yeah.
When you were talking about Wim Hof, I was pumping gas. It was really, really cold. And I was focused on the cold. And then I said, no, the inside of my body is warm. Like if we were to slice me at this moment, warm blood's coming out. Yeah. My skin is cold. So I was trying to really focus on that. And then it really helped, right? And I thought, it's just hitting my skin. It's not penetrating into my organs. I'm actually warm in there. And I'm serious. And then when you were just talking now, I was thinking even further. Like think of like what is this? A jawbreaker?
Jawbreaker.
The gobstopper, the lines. Your soul is even now you're further in. You're beyond the organs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you saw that with the, it's a very sad story, but like when was it, the 80s, when the monks would set themselves on fire to protest.
Oh yeah.
But there's some like very powerful photos of them just there meditating, and it's like the only thing that explains it is they are so in tune with their soul, and it's like literally you are burning a shell. Like they're so connected, and it's like, because all they do is work on what you're saying,
right? Which
is this body connection. They go into these meditative states where their body's just sitting there, and they're in a deep trance.
But Lent doesn't have to be that hard. You can give up.
No, that's
like I said, I gave up road rage one year and literally failed every single day.
Yeah,
not road rage. I don't like follow people. I would just shout like in.
Yeah, what did Avalon give up? My sister, she gave up elevators one year, right?
She did, and she was in a dorm on the 3rd floor.
Yeah,
yeah. So you can have fun with it.
It shouldn't be hard, and it shouldn't be not self-destructive. What's the word of
flagellation?
Yeah, but there's an easier word for
self-harm.
No, there's a dialed back version of it.
Okay.
It shouldn't be just like I need to go through pain. I need to go through suffering.
No.
You should be able to do it with a smile. Like she'd call you and say, "Well, it'd be really nice to use the elevator right now."
Yeah, right.
Just little things, to keep you're mentally in check.
Right.
It's a spiritual.
And there's no failure.
Gym.
Like I said, every day.
It's 40 days of being at the spiritual gym. If you walk in and you say, I can't do this, and you walk out, is that, you went, you showed up.
Yeah.
You bought that gym membership.
Right. Something to try, whether you're Catholic or not, or whatever you are.
Whatever. I like it for, being religious helps me. Because I have, like I said, it's like sort of like I'm Lance Armstrong. It's like, I'm doing this for you. Or I'm Rocky. Adrian!
What do you think about when the 15th round when you're coming out? Adrian!
But truthfully, one of the big things is because I don't know what it is about me, but it's like I have that type of personality where I don't like to know I need anything. Like, even coffee. Like, I've always been against people that's like, don't talk to me until I've had my coffee. Yeah.
Don't talk to me till I've had coffee.
All right, let me just...
What did I say?
And it's like, I never want anything to be that for me.
You're dependent on it.
Yeah, it's like, I want to not drink another coffee and, okay. I drink it because, I enjoy it, but I want to know. I've deleted social media before, not even during Lent.
Right.
Just like, I don't need it. And then I download it again. But for non-spiritual people, just this way of doing things, just to know, listen, I've got air in my lungs, a smile on my face, a roof over your head, hopefully. But I don't need it. I don't need anything.
Yeah, that's why I was saying about, because like you said, if you're not religious, you're still going to be faced with times where you're going to lose something that you wish you hadn't lost.
Yeah.
And you want to exercise even just your own confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Do I have my answer?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
What was your answer?
My answer for...
What's your Lenten dedication?
Well, remember I said since I diet, so like I do these healthy stretches.
You're getting back
I'm getting back on
straight and narrow.
The straight and narrow train. You know, well, just some obvious things. You saw me drinking Coke on the last 2 podcasts. I'm sorry I was going through something. No more drinking soda.
At all. Not just Coke. You're not going to drink any sodas?
No, or juice. I'm not a juice fan.
Okay.
So any people have said that to me before because like there's a lot of non-soda drinkers nowadays.
Yeah, I know. That's true.
And so they're like, oh, like you drink soda? Like, oh, why don't you just drink it? I haven't said a single word there.
No.
Why don't you just drink juice or something? And I'm like, the only non-water substitute, I'm not into sweets really.
No.
Is soda.
Right.
You won't catch me drinking apple juice or
iced tea.
Iced tea, lemonade. It's my one vice. Right. So yeah, no soda, no late night eating.
Okay.
Just keep
like fast food.
Yeah, no fast food.
Right. So then that, as a good example, it doesn't have to be so specific. Yeah. Like yours is like, you know what you're doing. It's like, you know. Doing. Okay. So I'm going to, and no judgment.
No judgment.
Okay. I'm going to give up my gloves.
Wait, what?
I'm going to give up my winter gloves.
Why?
Because
we just said let's not hurt ourselves. It's winter.
Believe me, I'm never in a situation where I'm risking frostbite whatsoever. Gosh. I don't like holding the cold steering wheel.
Oh, don't do that to yourself.
I am going to. For like 5 minutes.
We just said don't put it's fun.
That's not hurting yourself. I'm not going to wear my gloves.
Okay. She's not going to wear her gloves. It's her choice. It's between her and her.
Do I shovel ditches? Like, like I said, I'm never in danger of having frostbite.
Okay.
Mostly I get chilly hands. And I love my gloves. They're the cheapest gloves. They're like $2 from Rite Aid.
Yeah.
They're my comfortable little like.
I'm going to wear gloves around you all day.
My little Elmo gloves. I'm not going to wear them. And so when I have those cold little hands, I'll say, look at me without my gloves. I'm not wearing my gloves.
Because you're going to have your spiritual gloves on.
I'm going to have my spiritual gloves on. That's one thing I'm giving up. And then one thing I'm going to do, because the gloves, like I said, I don't even know how much of a sacrifice it is because I'm not out there trimming trees. Yeah. Like, why do I need gloves? But it's a little something I'm doing.
Yeah, it's a little something.
The other thing I'm going to do is when I go to the supermarket, I'm going to obey the arrows of the aisles. No, I'm just kidding. I'll never do that. I'm going to, when they say when you're the cash register and it says, would you give us the change for charity?
You're gonna.
I'm always like, no. I want my 13 cents.
Okay.
I'm going to push the button that says, sure, take it.
Whoa. And then are you also, when you go take your cart to the car, are you going to bring the cart back into the store?
No, because of COVID. I always would bring my cart back, but now I'm like, they want to separate those dirty carts.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But now that you just mentioned that, I just got nervous because I like to wear my gloves in the supermarket because of the COVID on the cart. But I can't do it. I'll just use hand sanitizer.
Risking life for her love of the Lord. All right. Well, hey, guys. Thank you for coming to today's Ash Wednesday /Lent podcast. He
will have his stuff together by tomorrow. He's going to... This partying has to stop.
I'm going to throw him in a cold shower. We're going to sober Frank up, and he's going to be giving up a lot. Because he has a lot to give up.
He's too fresh right now.
Yeah. So thank you for coming to our Wednesday podcast. Leave a like if you like.
Tell a friend.
Don't leave a like. Tell a friend.
Tell a friend.
And if you're giving up anything for Lent, or if you're doing something, or if you want to do something, you just make a decision. Oh, I don't want to do Lent, but I'm going to try to eat more fruits. Let us know down in the comments below, and we'll be back tomorrow with a Thursday podcast.
Yeah.
Any last words?
No.
Peace.